A very good evening to you all. Thank you for joining me on Matchday Live. Joining me in the studio are two legends in the form of Sean Wright Phillips and Sean Goater as we took in to a 9-goal thriller here at the Etihad this evening. City's first Champions League game at home at the Etihad against RB Leipzig finishes Manchester City 6, RB Leipzig 3. I mean, I wonder sometimes where do we even begin with a game like that? I mean, the second half it was 3-1. Sean, I mean, do you know what happened in them 45 minutes? It just seemed to open up on both ends. At times, it was a bit like a basketball game.
Well, City did what we wanted them to do, which was score more goals. But, of course, I was saying to Ghost, I said it to you while the game was going, I didn't really see Leipzig as that much as a threat to get the 3 goals. And I just think City will be beating himself up from conceding those 3 goals because it was something we haven't seen in a very long time.
We did concede those 3 goals, but of course we got the other 3 at the other end, Sean, and there was some lovely goals there and some great play there as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, and this is typical of City. The goals are being spread. You know, when you look through the goal scorers, it's Grealish, yes, there's an earned goal. Jesus comes on, scores a goal. Cancelo, all these guys getting on and scoring goals. And this is the brilliant thing about City. And when City get flowing, everybody seems like they're like, okay, I'm up next for a goal. I'm driving forward. But this is a beautiful side. Make no mistake about it. Pep Guardiola will be very upset He'll be very upset with having conceded 3 goals. He'll be pleased and absolutely delighted with the fact of scoring 6 goals. So pleased with Jesus coming on scoring. Cancelo. I know we can go through, but it was beautiful goals.
I mean, we talk about, you know, our top-class guests here in the studio. We called the Ake header. We called the Cancelo goal there as well from you. I mean, it was just one thing after another. We're going to take you through them all now, actually. We're going to bring you it in chronological order. Now, I've got my phone down here, which you know I don't like going on in the studio, but I may just need it to jog my memory. We, of course, begin with that shout that you said. Ake loves a header, popped up with a header, and it was a lovely work set.
Yeah, this is what we come to know in the box, defending and offensively. And he gets in that final third, and we're in set pieces. Again, I think it was Grealish that put it in. Beautiful cross. Ake gets on the end of it, hits the upright, and I'm thinking, go across your line. It sort of does that, ricochets up, go across your line. Beautiful, wonderful to get off the mark in terms of us, and then the confidence just grew from all the players.
It came after as well. We were kind of saying before, it was a slight of a slow start, 15 minutes. Pep definitely cut a very frustrated figure. Kind of Sean was saying he thinks it's because we need to pick up the pace, which we did start doing. And of course, the man who made his first appearance this season for us, King Kevin De Bruyne, then started running the show. And it was unfortunate for an RB Leipzig own goal, but I think it was all about the ball from Kevin De Bruyne, wasn't it, Sean?
What can you say about the ball? Is, in a way, it's undefendable. Even when I played, I was always taught put the ball in between the goalkeeper and the defender. But the way he puts it, it curls towards the keeper and comes back out. So he's in 2 minds, and it's quite low. So the defender's in 2 minds. He decides to bend down and heads it in the back of his own net, but the ball was superb.
Yeah. We was then looking like we were going in at half-time, being very happy, very solid. 2-0 to go in at half-time, but at 42 minutes, then came a goal from RB Leipzig. It came in the form of Nkunku, which also he popped up again in the second half. I asked questions whether we thought we should have defended it slightly better, Sean, but it was actually a well-worked goal. You were saying it's difficult sometimes to defend against that looping ball to the back stick that we've seen City do so many times.
Yes, again, my reaction was off for Zinchenko, and if a player feels he can sort of reach a ball in terms of heading it, they'll jump. But he just turned around to sort of go towards the ball with it going over his head, and the far post player just headed it right back. And when he headed it back, as Sean said earlier, he headed it back low, and therefore Ake, in terms of only being a yard, 2 yards off his player, couldn't get there. And they finish it. So City will look at that and think, how can we defend that better? It may be stopping at the source, as in the actual cross.
Yes.
Maybe the only way, because if a ball was over my head as a fullback, it's nothing I can do about that. And if this player heads it right back across, then it's how do we deal with that? So I think it may be the solution to that is to deal with it as sort of stop the cross coming in.
Yeah, and you were saying as well, actually, we were a little bit difficult because a few tackles, they just weren't ricocheting in the right way. But then, like you say as well, if it's a solid tackle, get it out, isn't it? Yeah. Now, you'd think maybe right there, 42nd minute, is 2-1 enough for half-time? Not at this game, because 5 minutes later, there was a penalty shout for Manchester City. Potential handball in the box. We'll begin there, Sean. We watched it back, and we believe here in the studio it was the right decision to give a penalty.
And for me, yeah, definitely the right decision. I think for Ryan, he just makes 2 yards to get in front of the defender, which he does, and he loses him. And Goal explained, when you get away from the defender, they try to get something on you, where he's jumped, put his arm across and stopped the ball from possibly going in the back of the net. So for me, it was definitely a handball. And
it was Riyad Mahrez who took the penalty and dispatched it absolutely beautifully, didn't he?
Just need more of that, don't we?
Yeah,
Every penalty we get needs to go in the top corner as well.
That's absolutely right. That was it at half-time. Then we went back out for the second half, and the goals just kept on flowing. 51st minute. It comes up from RB Leipzig, and it was Nkunku again who actually got the goal for Leipzig, which I think was a shock to the system. That will not be what City anticipated coming out in the second half. I'm sure Pep didn't anticipate that either.
Yes, it just seems strange. Their goals, when they scored them, it just seemed as though they haven't really pulled us apart. But then we're looking and going, we've conceded a goal, and you start thinking this is going to give them a lift, and we've now got to go kick on in terms of scoring another goal. So it was really bizarre, and it felt to me bizarre that did they really deserve that goal, or again, City will look at it, analyze it, and go, where can we do better with regards to that situation? So disappointing to concede, because you got the PSGs, the Bayern Munichs, these teams will look and go, City conceding 3 goals? They'll think, okay, perhaps there's a soft touch. And this is why it's so important to concede none or only 1 goal, sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a slight, now if you might have seen it or may have not in the build-up, as they were building up RB Leipzig, Kevin De Bruyne was tripped by the referee. I mean, maybe intentionally, I'm only joking, it was accidentally. Red card for the ref. But it looked accidental, but of course De Bruyne was kind of, maybe coming back and could have got in, who knows. But I wondered, has it ever happened to any of you two, kind of something happening with the ref or the linesman and then no one seeing it? It's kind of in that could have maybe helped there.
It happened to me in Soccer Aid, but that's about it.
Oh, is that it?
When I slowed down with my pace, basically.
Yeah. That's the trick, isn't it, really? Just be quick. Keep going. So there we are, RB Leipzig. It was 3-2. And, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but there was a danger man I pointed out in the first half in the form of Super Jack Grealish. And boy, did he deliver with his first home debut in the Champions League and his first goal in the Champions League. We were hoping for a beautiful finish, and Sean, what
Talk us through that as a wide player.
Come on. Give the people
let
what
me
they
elaborate a little bit. It was great because he just carried on running. The ball came over the top. Everybody else stopped. He carried on. He took his first touch, and he did what he did in the first time. I think it was 2 times where he's dribbled, committed the defender, gone inside on his right foot. But this time he takes that little extra touch to compose himself, and he bends it straight in the far corner, and it was a delightful finish.
It really was, and honestly, it went off here in the Etihad Stadium, and Super Jack.
I just want to speak, because that goal was probably the most unlike typical City goal, because it was Diaz that cleared it over the top.
Yeah.
And then from there, Super Jack goes on and does what he does. But normally with our goals, there are a number of passes that come, but it's just one over the top.
Apart from if Edison kicks the ball.
That's still a pass from Edison.
Yeah. But you're right, though. But then is that just not another string to City's bow that we're bringing now, that you've got distribution from Diaz? Because he did it a couple of times after that as well, where he's able to pick these long crossfield passes to the winger that's out on the bye-bye line. It's got to be kind of just giving the opponent something else to think about.
I think the great thing with the depth and the type of players City have in their arsenal. Like, if you take off Grealish, you bring on Jesus.
Yeah.
He runs in behind. He comes feet way less. You take out, say, Bernardo Silva. You bring on
Gundogan.
It was today, and he makes that break-in midfield run, the third-man run all the time, which midfielders don't track. And to have so many different options on your bench and in your squad is something that every manager wants.
Now, I don't know if you've clocked this, and because the goals that came after it, I mean, that put it at 4-2 there again with the most beautiful finish from Jack Grealish. And Jack, if you're watching, I love you so much. But he then brought on Fernandinho and Gundogan. So to me, that's saying he was conscious that, listen, let's not let this turn into a back and forth. Do you think Pep will be frustrated bringing on two of, Fernandinho, one being Fernandinho, Gundogan being maybe that little bit more kind of defensive and can tick the ball around, to still then be opened up? Because we're going to come to in a second, there was another Nkunku goal, which gave him his hat-trick. Would that have been frustrating for Pep, do you think?
Pep would have been frustrated whether they're on the field or whether they weren't on the field, because the quality of players that we have, they have the intelligence. These are world-class players that are able to cope. So he would just be frustrated with the fact that we've conceded 3 goals.
Yeah.
And he'll look, and sometimes there's some goals where you just have to say, it's a good goal, and sometimes you have to say, well, there's not much you can do. But yeah, I think in general he'll just be thinking, conceding 3 goals, not good.
Yeah.
Them going in, we knew Gundogan would give us that threat, as Sean said, being a third man running. Fernandinho will be a bit more steel. Sterling coming on, didn't quite get up to it because, again, it's so many changes at that time.
Yeah.
And Sterling will show up in the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw him come on the pitch as well a little bit later on. So just before we had that Nkunku hat-trick, there was a goal for Ferran Torres, which did get chalked off for VAR, of course, absolutely right. But Sean, we were speaking about him before, as you say, you kind of feel like he's a little bit quiet. But first of all, the ball through from Cancelo was absolutely divine. But then to do what he did in the 1-1, because I don't even know how he got round the keeper, but he sold the keeper with something, and then the ball was in the back of the net. I mean, again, a real striker's finish.
Yeah, again, the ball from Cancelo, the diagonal ball, what a pass. He gets on it. The keeper, see, sometimes goalkeepers make your mind up for you. And because the goalkeeper's coming out, then he's saying, well, I can go, he's made his mind up, I can go around you. And because he's come out that quick, he's had to move the ball quickly because he's had to almost knock the ball square to then go around rather than diagonal to go around. And that was the important bit, because with him knocking it square, the goalkeeper just can't get there.
Okay, right.
Square to himself to then go.
Yeah, if he'd gone the diagonal, maybe the keeper could have nicked that or
get something.
Okay, right.
And so again, this is the instinct he has as a wide player that plays as center forward.
Yeah.
The just things he does is like, I got to do some more background on him, because I think he may have been a striker.
Yeah, we'll have to do some digging, I think.
We're going to do some digging. He may have been a striker at some point in his career, because it's just too natural what he does. And to see him go around the goalkeeper, put it in, this is what we anticipate from him.
You never want to dwell on, kind of the bad sides of any game for Manchester City, but it was 6-3, and we're saying it felt like they didn't do much. And the third goal for Nkunku there, who got his hat-trick, and it has to say, great performance from him tonight. We were saying, Sean, watching that goal develop, it just, for me, felt a bit simply as in not tracking the runs. You kind of could see it unfolding before it happened, couldn't you?
Yeah, it was a weird one, because we was looking at it, and not even the crowd was... It was quite subdued in the whole stadium. It was almost like at a point there weren't nobody there, because we just assumed we're going to get the ball and go up the other end. And then it was just like in a situation where I don't feel like you can play offsides or anything. You just have to go with your runner. And I think the ball went in between the fullback and the centre-back. And from the angle, it was a great finish. It was pretty much the only place he could have put the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So that then had it at 4-3. And you could see there then RB Leipzig definitely had the wins in the sails. But then that was soon put right by Sean. I'm going to come to you, because I know he was your most impressive player in the first half. None other than Cancelo. And what a finish that was.
He's been watching my YouTube videos.
He has, well, he was another one. Like Jack, that was on the signing. His agreement was, I need some of those Sean Wright Phillip tapes.
No, I said to Goats, it's weird. I said, because in the Premier League, people really, day in, day out, week in, weekend, they know what he's capable of. But Leipzig seem to just say, okay, you can have it there because
you're the right.
Do you know what I mean? Nobody tried to press him or anything. If you give somebody that sort of time, that has that much quality, that's most probably what you're going to see 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the most impressive thing I like about him, is that when he gets into that area just outside the 18-yard box, he has the ability to give a great through ball or produce great strikes. We're seeing him put balls on his left foot and just sort of curl them in the top corner. And I always go back thinking, this guy's a fullback?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know fullbacks that did that.
Yeah.
And this is what's so impressive about him, that when he gets into those areas, he's, again, good strike of the ball and also has the quality to give a through ball as well. So, a lovely strike.
There was a little through ball as well, I have to mention. It kind of didn't come off, but Gundogan had done one of his runs from deep. And the ball that he plays, it was from literally the right back, almost on the ground, through the middle of the pitch. It was just divine again, like you say, from the right back. So long may them goals continue this season for Cancelo. And then finally, he'd might have been on the pitch, I think, for less than 10 minutes. There was another double sub bringing on Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. And before you know it, he's put the ball in the back of the net, Sean.
Yeah, he's been watching my YouTube videos. Listen, you got to be there. You got to be there. But he's in the right position. As a wide player, you have to be in your back door. And the back door is knowing that everyone's in that area, and you're just hoping something may get flashed across, it may ricochet, and that's exactly what it's done. It's sort of just come to him in that area, and he's just had to concentrate on not worrying about being tackled, getting firm contact on target, and he does that. And pleased for him, because again, I'm like, I say he's like sort of taking one for the team. Come as a striker, has a goal in every 2 games, is going wide, starts producing 2 and 3 assists from playing out wide, and now he's out wide. I mean, Sean was saying something to me earlier, and I was like, he surprised me there. I believe he was a wide player some time before, but
I think he possibly back in Brazil. I think it was. I think he was. I think he started off out
wide.
wide.
Right. And the season that City bought him, he replaced the injured centre forward.
Well, because it's funny enough, because I think after the 3rd game, though, Pep actually spoke, and I'm pretty sure there's a sentence of Pep saying that he's kind of said that he's actually a bit more comfortable and wants to play more as a winger. So maybe it's him and Torres swap is another masterstroke of genius from Pep. And of course, our Etihad Player of the Month for August, Gabriel Jesus, as voted for you by the fans, thoroughly deserved. We can now hear from a man who made his Champions League debut, Nathan Ake, debut goal, pardon me. Nathan Ake was talking to us after the game.
That was great to watch. What was it like to play in?
It was both sides. I think it was good that we scored so many goals, but on the other side, not good that we conceded 3. So now things to work on, things to look at tomorrow to see what we can improve, and then we go from there.
It's a big positive, but we tended to score straight away, didn't we, after they'd scored? That was important, wasn't it?
Yeah, very important, because every time they got back in the game, so when you scored quite quick again, you make their hopes a little bit less. So now happy with that. I think the overall play wasn't the greatest today, but I think it was good that we still scored so many goals. But as I said, the goals conceded weren't good.
That was your first Champions League goal.
First Champions League
goal,
a
nice feeling. On another night, you might have even had a hat-trick.
The balls in were perfect, so I'm so happy to score my first one. Hopefully many more to come.
It's a nice feeling, because it's something every top footballer wants, isn't it?
100%. Last year I was close, so this year to get it in the first game is what you want as a little boy, and to play this kind of stage and to score is amazing.
Will you be on the phone to your family after this, or will they be on the phone to you?
For sure, 100%.
And that's 21 goals in 4 home games we've scored now. It's an incredible record, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really big positive. I think lately we've been scoring many goals, so hopefully we can keep that up.
And perfect start for us tonight, and Bruges and PSG drew 1-1, so we're already top of the league. It's good as it gets.
That's a big positive for today. So now hopefully we can continue this. We've got a few more important games before the next Champions League.
Brilliant. Great game.
Cheers.
Thanks, Nathan. Thank you.
Yeah, opened our goal scoring account there. Nathan Ake talking at full time at the Etihad Stadium, which is now empty, but it went off tonight as we won 6-3. First game, first win puts us top of our group. And as you heard there, PSG drawing with Club Bruges 1-1. So, safe to say, I don't think it could have gone any sweeter for Manchester City tonight. And I think we can as well bring you some other results from the games tonight. It goes like this. Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 1, Atletico Madrid 0, Porto 0. Liverpool came back and won 3-2 against AC Milan. Quite the thriller that was, apparently. And Ajax winning 5-1 away to Sporting Lisbon. And of course, as well, we can bring you the double dose of Sean once again in the studio right about now. Gents, we've been asking for our questions on WhatsApp. And please keep using that throughout the season. It's a great way to get closer with you and you to get closer with these guys. We had a great question coming from Jamie, who said to you both, which would be the one Manchester City player from the past, either one you've played with or not, that you think would flourish in this Manchester City team?
You know, I have to say Kinky, you know.
Yeah.
Kinklatzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me. To have, like, that force behind him and get the ball from Kevin De Bruyne and have the options, it would be a delight to see.
Yeah, I think my dad would agree with that, definitely. What about for you, Sean?
Ali Benabia.
Yeah.
I think he was a magician. Before games, other than Sean Wright, used to ask him, does he need anything? You need a cup of tea, a glass of water. Yeah. Do you need your ankle strapping? We'll get anything sorted that you need. That quality player.
We had another question come here, which came in from Molly, who's over in Toronto, and it was the second part of a question, which I thought, you know, is one good to ask. Of course, we had the Ruben Dias captaincy, which I know a few people kind of asked about, and we did speak about that at the start of the show. She asked, though, if Fernandinho is on the pitch, is he the captain, or do you think he'll stay with Ruben Dias?
The way it looked, I feel if Further's on the pitch, he will wear the armband. I think he'll be like the first captain.
Yeah, I think.
For those who didn't understand, when Fernandinho's on the pitch, Fernandinho is the captain.
Yeah, there we go. Simple as mic drop. There we go. Thank you. Right, shall we have a look at this this cryptic clue then? So throughout the show, we've been showing you these 4 clues. We've been playing it out in the stadium. We've been playing it out for you at home. You've been using the hashtag Man City or using the WhatsApp to tell us your guesses, and I can tell you more than so many people have got it right. Now, Sean, you think you've got it? One last question for Sean, right? Do you think you've got it? There's no.
I know I haven't got it.
He knows he hasn't got it. Right. Well, we're gonna show. Yeah. Okay, here we go, Sean. I'm gonna talk you through it one by one. All right. So we've got the first slide there. None other than Happy Monday's lead singer, Sean Ryder. So we'll take Sean. Now, what do we think the next clue is? What's he doing in that second clue, Sean? Writing.
It could be drawing though.
Hey, so we're going to say right. I think you could be right with writing. So if we're going to go Sean, right, and then what would you say for the third clue, Sean?
Yeah, I got you.
What,
I got you. That's decent actually. That's decent actually.
Lips? Yeah. I put the last bit together.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't do these. I'm not good at stuff.
No, you know as well. You know when you got.
That's actually. I'm impressed with that one. Yeah, I'm very impressed with that one.
Hey,
I got your lips at the end.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, but he didn't even say anything. So how does anyone know what he was thinking?
I got it at the end.
He got. Well,
it clued on. It clued on the end.
You know what a striker's sixth senses like. Do you know what I mean? But to everyone who got involved in that, by the way, I think that has definitely given it its seal of approval. That is coming back. We'll be bringing you that every show. There we go. Just get that on the bottom. Cryptic clue. That's decent. Sean Wright Phillips. Gents, it's what a great way to kick off the Champions League campaign. Now, of course, attention turns back to the Premier League at the weekend. Can you see Pep freshen it up and maybe bringing some new players in to that starting 11?
Well, you got to think he's clearly rested, obviously, Laporte and Stones because of that little knock. So I feel that's the thing with City. You never know. Walker, I think, will come back in.
Yeah.
Who do you play? I think Cancelo plays another game,
but
on the left this time. But yeah, it doesn't matter what he does. He's got so much to choose from that he can just freshen it up, and it seems like the team hasn't really changed. We'll just play the same way and put on, I feel like, the same performance.
Really will. Well, listen, gents, we were nearly wrapped up, but there's one man that I know I want to hear from, and I think we all want to hear from. Who does not want to hear from Super Jack Grealish?
Welcome to the Champions League, Jack. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, no, I loved it. Been waiting a while, and yeah, you know, the past few days, past few weeks, I just couldn't wait for this game, obviously in particular, and yeah, no, it was a great night.
Did you really imagine head on the pillow last night, 6-3, goal like that, hat trick for the opposition? I mean, it had everything.
Yeah, no, it was one of them games. You know, it had, like you just said there, you know, it had absolutely everything. Obviously, you know, in the end, we're obviously delighted to get the win. Obviously. Against a good team as well, you know, full of energy, full of young players and stuff. So, yeah, no, I'm delighted personally, to come away obviously mainly with the 3 points, but also a goal and an assist.
Yeah, exactly. Assist right at the start, obviously for Nathan Ake, and then your own solo effort. Talk us through it.
Yeah, no, I think, did Ruben go into a tackle or something? And then, yeah, obviously the ball's just come to me, and when I'm in that position off the left-hand side, running into the opposition area, I'd back myself, 1v1 against anyone to have a go. So that's what I've done, and luckily it paid off, and I managed to obviously hit the back of the net this time. I had a few in the first half that got blocked. Yeah, but I'm obviously delighted to get the goal.
Yeah, and away, obviously, with head spinning, I'm sure. But for you and Riyad, the manager had some quite forceful things to say after a couple of the goals. What, tactical or in terms of defensive work? Or what? Can you give us an insight?
That was just obviously defensive work. I won't go too much into it because he might want the same tactics for the weekend. Yeah, that's what the manager's like. He's always wanting more defensively and offensively. So obviously, he's someone that I'm going to listen to after everything he's done in the game. So he's obviously just giving out useful information.
I mean, I don't know, you've obviously watched the Champions League. It's not necessarily always quite like this 6-3 and everything that went on, but you've got PSG to play twice in this group. I mean, it's the big stage, and you're ready for it, aren't you? Yeah,
no, of course. It's I've just went inside there and checked the result from the other game, and it just shows, anything can happen in the Champions League. I think that's why it's such a wonderful competition, and I was obviously, delighted. As soon as the game kicked off, I just thought to myself, in my head, I've actually played in the Champions League now. And before with the music and everything, it was so nice. And yeah, obviously the game, it just topped it all off.
Well played, and we'll see plenty more of you.
Yeah, no, cheers, thank you.
All the best.
Just, super Jackie Grealish. Absolutely sensational. Beautiful goal, thoroughly deserved. And as we say, lots more to come from that man indeed. So, we are going to be back on Saturday. Myself and Sean won't be, but Sean, you're back on Saturday. What a treat for you guys at home. You're going to be joined by Stephen McInerney and Kyle Walker for our game against Southampton. And of course, Matchday Live will be with you every step of the way. Make sure you're using that WhatsApp. And do you know what? I don't know what the time is, but I think you maybe got about 45 minutes to use our 15% off code on that brand new Champions League Academy range. So, Mother, if you're watching, get it in the basket, use the code, and that'll be lovely. Thank you very much. And final word as well, just to say, tonight, Manchester City became the fastest team to reach 50 wins in the Champions League. The only team to do it quicker than them was Real Madrid. So to say we've only been in the competition, well, for this being our 11th year, just goes to show how brilliant, how fast we really have taken to this club competition. A massive thank you, of course, to our wonderful guests as always. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be sat here with Sean Wright-Phillips and Mr. Sean Gota, and of course to be with you every step of the way. Guys, enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you at the weekend. Come on, City.